So what is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel once again. You know I appreciate having you here. Now stick around for today's video. It's another first impressions review, and it's all about this little baby, the CRF450L. So those of you in the know will know that I already own a CRF1000L Africa Twin and a CRF250L Rally. So this is the in-betweener. So I've been kind of excited about riding this one. They phoned me up yesterday and they said, Fish, this bike's coming in, do you fancy riding it? And I said, you know what, I finished work at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm coming straight down. So this came in today. This is a 2019 model. It's the first one that I believe in the country for demo. So yet again, Dobles have hooked me up with this one, first one in the country. I'm not talking journalists here, I'm talking average guy like myself. So let me big up Dobles by saying go down in the descriptions box below and I shall put their website there for all the information you need on Dobles. Once again, thank you very much for hooking me up. Also, I shall put down their Honda specifications for this bike. So seeing as I am stuck behind this car, I might as well tell you a little bit about myself. Let's get that out the way. 6'2", 17 stone. Yes, I know, I still haven't lost the weight from America. I've got long legs and I'm quite wide in the shoulder. That's about it for me. Not that exciting, but I thought I'd tell you that anyway, because that goes a little bit into how this bike suits me and how all bikes suits me, because I give you the information, but I can only give you it based on my body shape, if that makes any sense. I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does. Right now, straight off the bat, I'm going to tell you this clutch and throttle is a little bit temperamental. I stalled it about 3 times getting it out of the shop initially, but once I realized I had to slip the clutch a little bit more, give it a few more revs, then I was okay. It's okay. And on the downshift, you have to give it a blip for it to be a little bit smoother. It's quite a brutal bike in that sense. Although it's got the word L after it for legal, which means road-based, it's still quite competition underneath. Right, so the plan today is, because it's getting late in the day at the moment, as you can see the sun's quite low, it is autumn. So we're going to do the walk round first. I'm going to find somewhere to do a walk round, show you guys around this bike, the little bits on it, and tell you a little bit about it or what I know. And then after that, we're going to go for a little bit of a ride, see if I can find some green lanes, because the guys down at Dobles have given me permission to get this a little bit muddy. Now I'm not going to take it on a motocross course, not that sort of thing, but I am going to take it and get a little bit muddy on it. Now my skills off-road are not very good, and this is a new bike, so what could possibly go wrong? Let me tell you a little bit about the seat. It's like being fisted by a giant. No, it's not that bad. It is uncomfortable though, but you kind of expect it to be uncomfortable on this sort of bike. My 250 was quite uncomfortable, but that bedded in a little bit after a while and became more comfortable. I wouldn't say it was luxury, but it was more comfortable. This, obviously very thin, very stiff, because of course this is based on the competition CRF, the CRF450R. They've made a few tweaks to it to make it road legal. I believe the chassis is exactly the same. The frame is an aluminium, I think it's a twin spar frame, but they made it slightly wider to accommodate this engine, because this one has a 6-speed gearbox. The competition one has a 5-speed gearbox, and they figured we'll put a 6-speed in because it makes it better on the road, gives it more of an overdrive, makes it a little bit more lovely when you're stretching its legs on fast roads. It comes in one lovely colour, and that is red. Of course it does, it's a CRF. If you ask for a CRF in any other colour but red, then there's something wrong with you. It's got a 21-inch front wheel, 18-inch back wheel, because it's an off-roader. I mean, it is a little bit snatchy. It's got no traction control and it's got knobbly tyres on, so you can feel it spinning up ever so slightly at the back as you come out the bends, but I would expect that. That's nothing unusual. And as I say, with the throttle and clutch setup, you kind of got to ride it aggressive. If you try to ride it smooth, it doesn't reward you. If you ride it like a bit of an idiot, then it's quite good. And I'm in luck, because I've been told, mainly by my wife, that I am an absolute idiot. She doesn't technically mean riding a bike, she just means in general. Now brake horsepower wise, it's not really that much more than my 250 according to the figures, around 25 brake horsepower. But what it does have is a lot more torque. It's got a lot more shove, and it really notices low down. I mean, it's all Euro 4 compliant, so I'm sure there's some more goodness to come out of this engine. You can certainly hear it thumping away, this big 450 thumper. They've changed the pistons on it from the competition, basically so it lasts longer, because on a competition bike you basically have to give it an oil change and a rebuild after nearly every race. But on this is better. This is every 600 miles for an oil and filter change. Now, I know you're thinking, what? Every 600 miles for an oil and filter change? But it's not that difficult to do an oil and filter change, really, is it? Is it really? No. But the big one is it's 32,000 kilometers before the big service. Whereas before, I think it was, I don't know, I won't even quote, but it was nowhere near that. Some of you guys that ride the CRF competition bike, put it in the comment section below. Let us know what your oil and filter sort of like routine is, and your big service, what maintenance schedule you've got on your competition bike, just so people can compare it to this one. As I said before, the specifications for this one are in the descriptions box below as well. This is certainly not a bike you want to ride docile. Not that I'm riding fast, of course. I'm just enjoying the dollop of torque on this 450 engine. That's a good word, isn't it? Dollop. I see people use it a lot with torque. It's got a dollop of torque. Now I know why. This definitely feels like a dollop. It's actually very nice to slide this bike. It feels really nice. I think because I've done a little bit more off-roading lately, that sliding doesn't worry me too much on the tarmac. And you can feel the back just drift out ever so slightly coming into the bends when you stamp down one on the gearbox and two on the back brake. Talking of brakes, it doesn't seem to have ABS. I will have a little look when we have a look round, but looking at all the, what do you call it, the specifications when I had a quick look, it doesn't seem to have ABS, which is strange. Definitely hasn't got ABS on the back. So no, it hasn't got ABS. So that's its competition roots showing through. Considering it is slidey about, and this has got knobby tyres, I'm still having fun. I'm not going fast, but I'm still having fun. And if you watch my channel, you will know that is one of my key points in life, having fun. I don't know what it revs out to because it has no rev counter, but you can generally feel it on a bike, and it's sort of like, it doesn't die early, but you can feel all the torque is low down. It's got a nice little pop on the overrun as well. I mean, it's not deep, the exhaust. You can hear the actual pistons more than you can hear the exhaust. This is my suspension testing route for road suspension. I'm expecting this should be pretty good. This has got Showa forks on it, fully adjustable front and rear. I was just checking then. I don't want to say something that's not true. Do you know what? If this came with Supermoto wheels, you could have so much fun. Not that I'm not having fun now, I'm just a little bit more wary. What do you think of this? 450. I know, it's crazy. Look, Honda, look, 450. See, even dogs love you when you got this bike. Well, that didn't work as a walk around because I kept getting jumped on by a dog. So what we do now is head up to Box Hill car park. Hopefully it's not too busy, and then we'll have a walk around there. This bike is not fast, but it's fun. It's deceptive. You think you're going fast, but you're not. I mean, you're not going slow, don't get me wrong, you're not going slow, but you're not going breakneck speed. But it is engaging. At first I was like, I'm not sure, a bit snatchy, clutch is a bit temperamental, a bit weird. But as soon as you get into it and ride it like it's supposed to be ridden, It's actually pretty good. It's very good. It's not refined, it's not smooth, it's not luxurious. It's engaging. It's entertaining. That's what it is. That's what this bike is. It's a bike for entertainment. Right, so here we have her, the Honda CRF450L, the road-based version of the 450R. And I like it. I love the look of it, but you know I'm a fan of CRF, you know I'm a fan of dual sport bikes, and this one's kind of special. It's only a 450 and it's got a very high price tag, but there's some little touches on it that are kind of wonderful. So let's have a little look round, go front to rear, up to down, you know how it goes, roundabout, all that sort of malarkey. Anyway, let's crack on with the tyres. On the front you've got a 30-121, and on the back is an 18-inch rim, and that is a 120/80/18. You've got front and rear brakes, single disc on the front, single disc on the back, non-ABS, strangely enough, not ABS, but it has got these lovely kind of cooling things on, you know what I mean. Shower forks front and rear. You've got the shock in there, fully adjustable on the rear, and again fully adjustable on the front. LED lights front and rear. Let's turn those on, give you a look. So there you go on the front, LED indicators and LED light, give you a little bit more vision at night. And on the back, of course, LED rear light and the two indicators as well. Silencer is pretty quiet, it's not too loud at all. You can hear the engine over the silencer. It does have a nice sort of like pop on the downshift on the overrun, which is nice. But I'm sure those of you that buy this will take that off and put a nice exhaust on it and free the braps up. Nice to see a metal plate on the back rather than just plastic for the number plate, because bearing in mind, although it's sort of like based on the competition bike, it is a road legal version. So the frame is exactly the same. I'd say it's exactly the same. It's slightly wider because this engine has got a 6-speed gearbox over the 5-speed, as I mentioned before, just to give it more legs on the road. It's got a plastic bash plate. Now for this money I would expect a metal bash plate or something a bit more substantial with that. Oh, the brakes are Nissan, by the way, front and rear, just in case you were curious. Tank is 7.6 litres, I think it's a 7.6. I did have a quick glance on the way, well, not on the way because that'd be reading my riding, that's dangerous. I didn't do that before I left. I don't really know what to say about this bike apart from I really like it. I know I say that about a lot of bikes, but as I said at the beginning of the video, I've got an Africa Twin and I've got a CRF450, so this is right up my street and I like it. Let's run through the dash and the controls. There's not a lot to run through on this. You've got a kill switch and starter on that one, with your brake and your throttle. On this one, clutch, high beam, normal, hooter, indicators. That's it. This is the dash. It's got miles per hour, a clock, and how many miles it's done, and trip A, trip B, miles per litre, and average miles per litre we're touching 11.4 at the moment. I don't know whether that's good or bad, but that's what it says. And then a trip B for the average miles per litre, and then trip A, how much fuel I've used, 1.7 litres, and a trip B for that as well, then back to total miles. That's it for the dash, not really a lot else. You've got a petrol warning light, engine temperature light, engine management light, indicators, full beams and neutral. There's no traction control, there's no ABS lights, there's nothing fancy. It's simple, it's back to basics. Oh, you've also got little, can you see that? HRC there. That makes it all worth the money. They've spent a lot of money on the internals of this. The engine is where the money goes, the fit and finish is where the money goes, like the forks, the rear suspension, the swing arm, the little touches, the aluminium here, the little chain guards here. It's all really, really top quality stuff. The foot pegs, probably want to get them a little bit wider, but I have got big feet, but they're okay. That folds up, which is a must on this sort of bike. It's pretty good. The fit and finish is astonishing. Oh, on these, look, they bend 90 degrees and then spring back up. Fantastic. I do like a bendy thing, Sounds wrong. I'm rushing this, in case you haven't noticed. I'm rushing around this because I want to get up on some dirt lanes. I want to take this off-road and have a little bit of a play in the dirt. Let's get back on the bike and let's crack on and let's do a little bit more riding and do some off-road riding, if that's all right with you guys, of course. But it is a nice bike. I really love the look of off-road bikes. She sounds all right. Oh, while I'm here, I think the seat height is 940. And I can flat foot both sides. The suspension, it compresses, but it doesn't compress anywhere near like my 250 does. It's pretty reasonable. Right, so 6th gear, coming up to 70 miles an hour, and do you know what, it's pretty smooth. It's the smoothest it's been all day, is at this speed in 6th gear. So that's pretty impressive. So it means you could take it on the motorway and you could do some distance. The seat might disagree with you, but the engine's willing. Right, so let's stand up before I get to the off-road bit to see what it's like ergonomically. I can tell you standing up, it's too low for me. The handlebars are way too low. I'll probably have to bring them up 2 inches like I did on my 250. Then it'll be all right. That's going to hinder control when I go off-road. But it's not as if I've got any off-road skills, so that'll probably make no difference whatsoever. As I said, sitting at 70, it's not too bad. It doesn't feel like it's got a hell of a lot more. And if you were to try and overtake, you'd have to knock it down into 5th gear and then go again. It won't do it in 6. Like so. So we're going to keep it in 2nd, I think, and cover that brake as well. Yeah, it's certainly more torquey and brutal than my 250, which is a fun thing. It's not as muddy as I thought it was going to be today, he says as he comes across the mud pit. Yeah, these handlebars being low are quite a hindrance for me. As I said before, I'm not that skillful, but every little bit helps. It's got enough torque in 2nd gear to just keep it there. Whereas my 250, I have to play around between 2nd and 3rd with the gearbox. Whereas this, 2nd is plenty for this. Right, let's get out of the rut. Yeah, if you're wondering why I'm out of breath, it's because I'm out of shape. I'm not trying to seem sexual. Shove it in 3rd. That torque really works out here. You don't notice it quite as much on the road, but once you get out into the dirt, you can really feel it. It's really helpful. It digs that back wheel in. It gives you quite a bit of traction. I've got to slow down here because there's horses. I don't want to spook them. Let's just sit down and cruise. It will pick the front wheel up as well over every little bump, especially in 2nd. So let's change. Well, I'm into 3rd. Gear change is okay standing up. I haven't got me motocross, me off-road boots on. I've got my road boots, so it's a little bit easier with these. I wasn't expecting puddles, but hey ho, what can you do? Stand up. I can't see anything because of the sun, but this bike certainly feels nice through here. It's definitely a better off-road bike than it is a road bike, that's for sure. Very controllable sitting down as well. You can feel it sliding, but you don't feel like at any point it's out of control, even on these bog standard tyres that it comes with. And this is what this bike's designed for. It's designed for riding the roads and coming down lanes like this, having some fun. it's a glorious evening as well, so can't say fairer than that. I'm having a great time. I'm on someone else's bike, bonus, and it's the first ride of this, the CRF450. And do you know what? I get it. I really get this bike. The price is a little bit steep. I think it's about 9,500. I'll put the price on the screen. It's a little bit steep, as I said, but it is a bloody good bike for this. It's just glorious. It's a great bike to be on. It's good on the road. I won't say great, it's good on the road, but here the torque, it's so tractable. Starting to go uphill now, so going to need all that traction over the roots. It's getting muddy as well. As I've said many times, my skill level is not very much, so this bike's flattering me. Oh, I wish these bars were higher. My hands are really aching. My arms are on fire. Oh, that was a big tree root. Let's just jump down here. Oh, there's some big tree roots down here. But just keeping it in second, it does it all for you. Well, it doesn't do it all for you. You've still got to twist the throttle and balance. You can just lean into the tank and direct it with your legs. It's really nice. Although my legs are probably slightly too long, so my knees sit just above the tank. And what you've got to watch out for, so when you do roll off the throttle, the engine braking pushes you slightly forward. Oh. I don't know whether this is what they planned when they said I could take it off-road, but this is what they've got. Oh, I should just sit down, my arms are dead. And this is with the suspension on standard settings as it comes out the factory, and the tyres on normal pressure. This is road pressures in these tyres, not off-road pressures. Oh, nearly went then. Here we've had rain for the last few days, so this is a lot more slippery than the last time I came out here. Got a lot of leaves as well. It's doing pretty good. As I said, just standard setup, standard tyres, and we're doing okay. My God, I enjoyed that. I'm absolutely finished now. My body's done. But what a great bike. If you don't know what this bike's about, and if you go and ride it purely on the road, you might make a mistake and say, do you know what, this bike's not that great. And I get it. If you're purely riding on the road, this is probably not the bike for you. However, if you want to go and do lanes like that, green lane stuff, a little bit of off-roading, enduro stuff, you could do it on this bike. And it's bloody good at it. It really is good at it. It's better than my skill level. So I'm used to a 250. I'm still learning on that. So if you look at that and go, you're rubbish off-road, yeah, I agree, I am. But I'm still learning. But the fact that I can take this 450 off-road the first time I take it out and ride it on the road to the off-road says a lot about this bike. Is it worth the money? I don't know. I'm not quite sure. If you love it, it's worth the money. If it's I'm not sure if I like it or not, then probably not. You've got to look into the specifications. You've got to look into, do you want a CRF450L? You can't just think, I want an enduro bike. It's going to compare to this bike, that bike, the other bike. It's got to be one you want, one you love. I mean, what a gorgeous evening. But I have got to take this bike back. The sun is dropping, so we're running out of daylight. So let's summarize. Ergonomically, pretty good for me. As I said, I'm 6'2", got long legs, so off-road bikes suit me. I find them really comfortable. The seat is not that comfortable, it's pretty hard. I have got used to it. I went through a little bit of a period where my backside went numb, but now I've kind of come out the numbness and I'm just in slightly uncomfortable. If you are going to take this long distance, then I would suggest probably changing the seat, or it might soften up with time, I don't know. Handlebar wise, yeah, they're the right width for me. Mirrors, do you know what? I'm not too fussed about the mirrors. You can see behind you, but I'm guessing a lot of people would take those off. Handling wise, it's okay. I mean, you've got to remember 21-inch front wheel, 18-inch back wheel, knobbly tyres. I'm on a damp road. It handles okay. I wouldn't say great on the road, but okay. Suspension wise, it's pretty good. You can feel the bumps in the road when it's on the road, but as I've said many times in this video, the suspension is set up how it came out the shop. I haven't touched it, no one's played with it. It's just bog standard, and for that it works pretty well. Off-road, not too stiff, not too soft. My 250 is far too soft. It bottoms out quite a lot where this didn't. This holds it nicely, it's quite firm, keeps the bike quite level. Clocks, not a lot to say about them, not a lot of information, but you've got the speed and you've got a warning light for the petrol. I would rather have a fuel gauge, especially for this type of money. I guess I've just been spoilt over the years with more luxuries on a bike. As bikes get newer and newer, you get more and more luxuries, whereas this has got none. Engine, let's talk about the engine. At first, do you know what, I wasn't too sure, but now I've learnt to ride the rev range, got used to the clutch and the throttle, how it's supposed to work. I like it, I like this engine. It's got some, not balls, that's not the word, it's not out and out power, and I don't like to use the word character. It's got the right amount of entertainment for this bike. It's fast enough for the road, you don't need out and out speed for the road. That's not what this bike's about. As I said before, it'll sit at 70 miles an hour, no problem, but I can't see a lot of people doing that. I mean, considering it's come from the 450R off-road bike, it should handle off-road, and it does. But what they've done to make it road legal and make it on the road is only slight compromises. It's not too much. It's fun. You could ride it around the lanes and have fun, but I would urge you, if you do buy this bike, go and take it off-road. It is so much fun. It's more fun than my 250. With my 250, you can feel it's road-based with off-road intentions, whereas this is off-road with on-road intentions. At these speeds, it's pretty awful. It's on-off, it's chug-chug. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty, and the nitty-gritty, as always, is would I spend my hard-earned cash on one of these? And this is a very, very difficult one for me. Very difficult. This is probably the hardest one I've had to call, because in one sense, it's not a great bike. If you're a new rider and you buy it as a new bike, if you're commuting on it, if you just want to plod around, then no, it's not a very good bike. But if you've got a little bit of experience under you and you want to hit some lanes and muck around and have just fun, basically unadulterated fun, then yeah, I would buy it. At first I thought, no, it's not worth the money, but having a look round and looking at all the details on it and the little touches on it, then probably, yeah, you can see where the money's gone. You can see where it's been spent. Apart from that bash plate, which is awful. Honda, come on. As an only bike, most definitely not. This is not a bike you would have as an only bike unless you only do green laning or enduro riding via a twisty road. Then yeah, it's perfect. But for everyday ordinary people like myself, no. I wouldn't have it over my Africa Twin, obviously, because I love my Africa Twin and that does everything I need it to do touring wise. But over the 250, I would swap my 250 for this. And the cash, of course. If it's a straight swap, I'll go and do it now. Because this is a laugh. It just really makes me laugh. It's motorcycling fun. It's pure motorcycling. It drifts a little bit, it slides a little bit. In the dirt, it's a little bit all over the place because of my skill level. But did I care? Nope, not one bit. And on that note, I'm going to end the video here. Yes, I would buy one, but probably I wouldn't. But who knows? Once again, I'd like to thank Doble's Motorcycles for letting me have this, and especially for letting me take it off-road. I really appreciate it. So if you are down in the Causden area, go and check them out, go and grab a cup of coffee, go and say hello, say that I sent you. I shall leave the link to their website below. Remember, if you do go in there and you see Ian the salesman, he really loves those hugs. Say the fish sent you and give him a big bear hug. He loves it. He might even give you £1 off a bike. Anyway, that just leaves me to say, don't forget to subscribe, to like, to share, to do all those things that you need to do. Thank you very much for watching. I shall see you on the next one. You know I love you all. Stay safe. Fish out.
Get all your bags, get out my house. I don't want your stuff around. I never did you wrong, but you did me wrong. So go ahead, get gone. Get all your bags, get out my house. I don't want your stuff around. I never did you wrong, but you did me wrong, so go ahead.